In a world as cruel and unpredictable as Skyrim, luck can mean everything. It determines who survives a dragon's attack, who escapes a collapsing cave, who finds gold in a chest instead of a dragon's curse. Yet for one man, luck was both his name and his undoing. His name was Lucky Lorenz, a seemingly ordinary Nord whose story ends not in glorious battle or heroic sacrifice, but beneath the crushing weight of a fallen tree. He was not a warrior, nor a mage, nor a thief. He was just a man, and his death, frozen forever in one small cabin by the river, has become one of Skyrim's strangest and most quietly tragic tales. Lucky Lorenz embodies the dark humour and quiet melancholy that run beneath Skyrim's vast landscape. His story, though only hinted at through environmental clues, reveals more about the nature of fate, irony, and human fragility than some of the game's longest quests. In the shadow of his ruined home, we are reminded that in Skyrim, as in life, luck is not protection, it's temptation. Lucky Lorenz's cabin lies just south of Ivarstead, nestled beside the river that winds its way toward Lake Gear. At first glance, it looks like any other homestead, a simple log structure with a small dock, a few crates, and the faint remnants of a peaceful life. But as you approach it, it becomes clear that something terrible has happened here. The roof has collapsed, the chimney shattered, and most strikingly, a massive fallen tree has smashed through the cabin, crushing its owner beneath. Lorenz's body still lies there, twisted awkwardly and splintered with wood and debris. There is not really a lot of blood, no signs of struggle, no bandit attack, just the quiet, terrible stillness of an accident. Next to his body lies his journal, and within its pages we find the hint of a man who may have been running from something, or perhaps towards something. The irony of his name, Lucky Lorenz, strikes you immediately. It's as though fate itself mocked him, allowing him to believe in fortune right up until it crushed him beneath a tree. Lorenz's journal is short, but rich with subtext. It tells us he was not a farmer or a hunter, but a scavenger, a man who found a ring and a small fortune of coins and supplies. His words carry optimism, perhaps even pride, as though luck had finally favoured him. His life of hardship, wandering, and risk seemed to have paid off. He had a home, a river, and a bit of wealth. His final entry speaks of his intent to settle down, to live quietly and enjoy his newfound luck. And then, as if to prove that Skyrim is no place for dreamers, the tree fell. The player never learns exactly how it happened. Was it a storm, a dragon's passing shadow, a careless strike of his own axe? The ambiguity only deepens the tragedy. Lucky Lorenz's optimism becomes his curse. He named himself after fortune, and fortune punished his arrogance. Few locations in Skyrim tell such a complete story without dialogue or quests. Lucky Lorenz's cabin is a masterclass in environmental storytelling. Every detail, from the angle of the fallen tree to the scattered furniture, tells you something about his final moments. His bed is crushed, his belongings, a handful of books, a few bottles, and his lucky ring remain untouched. His small boat still rests peacefully by the dock, implying that he had been living here comfortably, unaware of the danger looming just above him. The tree's placement feels almost deliberate, as if nature itself conspired against him. It's not a battlefield, it's not a bandit raid, it's an accident. The cruelest, most mundane kind of death in a land obsessed with destiny and glory. The tragedy of Lucky Lorenz stands out precisely because it is so ordinary. While heroes fight dragons and kings wage wars, he simply dies, forgotten, unlucky, and utterly human. Before settling near Ivarstead, Lorenz was likely a wanderer. His journal and possessions suggest a man who made his living scavenging, exploring, and surviving off what he found. Perhaps he once delved into caves for treasures, fought off bandits, or sold goods in small villages. The gold and ring he mentions could have come from any number of Skyrim's countless ruins. But more importantly, it suggests a dreamer. Someone who believed that fortune could be earned through persistence, not birthright. And for a moment it worked. He had carved out a life for himself away from the chaos of cities and wars. His little cabin was a place of peace, a rare comfort in a world of constant struggle. But Skyrim doesn't reward peace, it devours it. The same wilderness that gave Lorenz a home eventually claimed his life. His story becomes a metaphor for the futility of trying to find safety in a land that rejects it. The Elder Scrolls universe is filled with irony, but Lucky Lorenz's fate might be the purest example of it. His name, his optimism, his newfound wealth, all of it leads to a death that feels both absurd and inevitable. It's the kind of dark humour that defines Skyrim's world, a place where the dragons can burn cities to the ground, but one unlucky man is killed by a tree. Players often chuckle when they find him. After all, it's easy to see the humour in a man named Lucky, crushed by fate itself. But beneath that humour lies a deeper commentary on Skyrim's relationship with destiny. So much of the game's world revolves around control. The Dragonborn's control over shouts, over dragons, over fate. Yet Lucky Lorenz reminds us that not everyone in Skyrim gets to be a hero. Most are at the mercy of forces they can't see or understand. His death is funny because it's meaningless, and that meaninglessness is terrifying. The fallen tree that killed Lorenz represents something powerful, the indifference of nature. In Skyrim, nature is both beautiful and cruel. The mountains inspire awe, but they also hide frostbite and death. Rivers provide life, but they also sweep travellers away. Wolves, bears, and saber cats roam freely, indifferent to the wars of men. Lorenz's death wasn't an act of malice or destiny. It was nature doing what it does. Trees fall, storms rage, life ends. This brutal honesty is part of Skyrim's charm. Unlike the grand destinies of heroes, the world's small tragedies remind us that not everything happens for a reason. Lucky Lorenz didn't die to teach a lesson or fulfill a prophecy. He just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. And perhaps that's the most human fate of all. It's strange how often Skyrim's darkest moments are wrapped in humour. The name Lucky Lorenz alone feels like a cruel joke written by the gods, or by Bethesda's developers who seem to delight in blending tragedy with irony. But this dark humour gives the world depth. It mirrors the absurdity of real life, where bad luck strikes the good and undeserving. The juxtaposition between Lorenz's name and fate becomes more than a punchline. It's a meditation on the way Skyrim's world treats its inhabitants. The Dragonborn may defy death and reshape the world, but the common people, the Lorenzes, the Anises, the Nafi of Ivarstead, live and die in obscurity. Lucky Lorenz is a reminder that humour and sorrow often coexist. His story makes players laugh at first, then think later. And that emotional duality is what makes Skyrim's storytelling so enduring. There is a loneliness to Lucky Lorenz's death that sets it apart. No one mourns him, no one speaks his name, his body remains unburied, visited only by curious travellers who happen upon his cabin. The journal and Lucky Ring are the only testaments to his existence. This loneliness reflects a theme that runs through Skyrim's wilderness, the forgotten dead. From the skeletons in mountain caves to the ghosts in the barrows, the land is littered with stories like his. Yet Lorenz's tale stands out because of its normalcy. He wasn't a soldier who fell in battle or a mage consumed by his own magic. He was just a man who wanted a home. His death is the purest expression of how Skyrim forgets its people. Amid dragons and Daedra, there is no space for the unlucky and unimportant. Lucky Lorenz never sought glory. He wasn't part of prophecy, a rebellion, or a guild. Yet his story lingers in players' minds precisely because it resists meaning. He is the most unlucky NPC in all of Skyrim, not because he was evil or foolish, but because he was human. His death captures the strange beauty of Skyrim's world, a place where fate can crush you without warning, and where even the smallest stories can echo louder than the shouts of dragons. In a land obsessed with destiny, Lucky Lorenz reminds us of the cruel randomness of life, and the quiet dignity of those who never got the chance to be heroes.